Hello and welcome to my next video on the rebuild of the Apollo scooter. So what I'm just going to demonstrate today is how you refresh the oil in the gearbox. I'm going to take you through all the steps you need to do this, and it will be fairly universal for most scooters. So perhaps it may be of interest to you. A lot of scooters I work on don't have gearbox oil changes ever done on them, and that's obviously going to affect the quality of the transmission. So what I've done here to start with is I have removed this hose. In general, what you should do, this has got 3 points of access, but in general what you should always do is you should start at the top, removing things from the top and work down. Because if you can't remove the filler, if you drain the oil, you've got no gearbox. So next job is that we take out this bolt here. Now this one, what it does is it shows the top limit of the oil. So rather than having a sight gauge, you just have a little bit of oil leakage coming out of that bolt there, and it's at the correct level. The next thing you do is you remove the drain plug, which is on the bottom of the gearbox. And away it drains. While this is all apart, check that your threads are in good condition. And it's always good practice to change these washers here as well, because what you don't want is you don't want oil leaks as you're riding along. But this one does look in good condition, so I might well reuse that, and it's not copper. Same with the one that was in the sight hole there. Now, unlike a regular motorbike that has its gearbox within the oil, you actually need a specific gearbox oil. This is a hypoid oil, 80 watt 90, and this is specifically designed for high pressure gear action. But you will notice I am wearing PPE, as I always do when I'm doing this work. The thing about gearbox oil is it smells awful. You get it on your skin, if nothing else, you just smell like a cat's weed on you all day long. But in general, used oil is very bad for you. So please wear PPE when you are doing any form of work involving used oils on a vehicle. Then I'm going to reinstall this bolt here. Tighten it up. And then we are going to fill the box. Oops, got a bit excited there. So we leave the oil to settle for a minute, because it is a thick oil and we don't want to overfill the gearbox. Just giving it a little bit of a turn there, just in case there's any air pockets. Just give it another turn. Also, while I'm just waiting here, what I've done here is I've also removed the clutch off the bike. Now, you don't have to remove the clutch when you're doing this, but bear in mind, this is an oil you're filling up, and the clutch has friction surfaces on it. For the sake of undoing one bolt, or in this case 2 bolts, I've done this end as well, but for the sake of undoing one bolt, you can save your friction surfaces from contamination, potentially having to throw your clutch away. Now, in a future video, I will talk you through the travails I've had with this bike. There has been more repairs than I anticipated, but then again, with salvage, you should always anticipate the unanticipated. So, for example, you'll probably notice this really very nice new wheel here. There is a similar very nice new wheel on the front of the bike, because during the crash, I think both these wheels were damaged, and they were just letting a small amount of air out, and the tyres were going flat. I mean, maybe it was done before the crash, because I didn't obviously get to speak to the driver, or the rider, I should say. And maybe a deflation of the tyre is what caused the problem in the first place. So you'll notice now, just from here, we're having a flow of oil. So this now is the overflow, which means we are at the fill limit of the gearbox. So we're going to tighten that up. You know, on this particular bike at least, it is the same size nut, top and bottom. So this one is, where are we? So it's 12mm, I think, isn't it? No, 10mm. So this one's got a 10mm nut on here and here. But you'll also notice that they've used different nuts all around here. So it's clear that none of these other nuts are the filling holes or the breathing holes. It's this one here is the same size as this one here. So they're trying to make this easy for you, which is a pleasant change to some bikes, I can tell you, when they're just trying to make life hard. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert the breather, and then I'm going to clean off all the spillage of oil, because we don't want cleaning chemicals going down the breather hole. And that's it. That's how you do the gearbox oil on a scooter or moped. Thanks for watching. And if you like what I'm doing, please like, comment, share, subscribe, or give your opinions about if you think I've done something wrong in the process below. Thank you very much, and see you next time.